Alrighty, we are on 15 tonight. We was on 14, and I just put the title up there wrong, but we're on 15, okay? And I'm going to try to read it. So let's get started. We're on 15. And the Lord spoke unto Moses and to Aaron, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When any man hath a running issue out of his flesh, because of his issue, he is unclean. And this shall be his uncleanness in his issue, whether his flesh run with his issue, or his flesh be stopped from his issue, it is his uncleanness. Every bed thereon he lieth that hath the issue is unclean, and everything whereon he sitteth shall be unclean. And whatsoever touches his bed shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until evening. And he that sitteth on anything whereon he sat that hath issue shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until evening. And he that touches the flesh of him that has the issue shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until evening. And if he that hath the issue spit upon him that is clean, then he shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until evening. That would be disgusting. Somebody spit at you. And what saddle whatsoever he rideth upon that has the issue shall be unclean. And whosoever touches anything that was under him shall be unclean until the evening. And he that breatheth any of those things shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean till evening. And whomsoever he touches, that touches the issue, and hath not rinsed his hands in water, he shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean till evening. And the vessel of earth that he touches, which hath the issue, shall be broken, and every vessel of wood shall be rinsed in water. And when he hath an issue is unclean of his issue, then he shall number to himself 7 days for his cleaning, and wash his clothes, and bathe himself, blushing in running water, and shall be clean. On the 8th day he shall take to him 2 turtle doves and 2 young pigeons, and come before the Lord into the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and give them to the priest. And the priest shall offer him one for a sin offering, and one for a burnt offering. And the priest shall make atonement for him before the Lord for his issue. And if any man's seed of completion go out from him, then he shall wash his flesh in water, and be unclean until evening. And every garment and every skin thereon is the seed of copulation, copulation, will be washed with water, be unclean till evening. The woman also, with whom man shall lie with seed of the same word, copulation, they shall both bathe themselves in water, and be unclean until evening. And if a woman have an issue, and her issue is in her flesh be blood, she shall be put apart 7 days. And whosoever touches her shall be unclean until until the evening. This is where when a woman is having her monthly, they used to have a little a room for them to go in, and they would stay in that room. And then somebody else would bring them food, water, whatever they needed, and all. And they would stay in that room for that 7 days. That you had that your monthly. Hey, I don't know. We don't do it that way now, but I would stay in the bed and I would have slept all the time. That's what I would have done, is cry, oh, because I had a really bad one. Okay, let's see. Number 19. And if a woman have an issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood, she will be put apart for 7 days, and whosoever touches her shall be unclean until evening. And everything that she lieth upon in her separation shall be unclean. Everything also that she sitteth upon shall be unclean. And whosoever touches her bed shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean till evening. And whosoever touches anything that she sat upon shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until evening. And if it be on her bed, or on anything thereon she sitteth, then he touch it, he shall be unclean until evening. And if any man lie with her at all, in her flower, he be upon him, he shall be unclean 7 days, and all the bed thereon he lieth shall be unclean. And if a woman have an issue of her blood many days, out of the time of her separation, or if it run upon the time of her separation, all the days of the issue of her uncleanness shall be as the days of her separation shall be unclean. Every bed whereon she lieth all the days of her issue shall be unto her as the bed of her separation, and whatsoever she sitteth upon shall be unclean as the unclean of her separation. And whosoever touches these things shall be unclean, and shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until evening. And if she be cleansed of her issue, then she shall number to herself 7 days, and after that she shall be clean. And on the 8th day she shall take unto her 2 turtle doves, or 2 pigeons, and bring them unto the priest to the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. So every month a woman had to bring turtle doves or pigeons, and the priest shall offer the one for a sin offering, and the other for the burnt offering, and the priest shall make an atonement for her before the Lord for the issue of her uncleanness. Thus shall ye separate the children of Israel from their uncleanness, that they die not in their uncleanness. Then they defile my tabernacle that is among them. This is the law of him that hath an issue, and of him who see 32. This is the law of him that has an issue, and of him whose seed goeth from him, and is defiled wherein, or wherewith, and of her that is sick of her flower, and of him that hath an issue of man and of woman, and of him that lieth with her is unclean. Alright, I'm just going to read that one. If I get one chapter right now until my throat gets better, I'm doing good. Alright, I love you guys. See you later.